Can a normal person like me get a world record on the Hive? Probably not. You see, this all started a few weeks ago when I got an option that would change the course of the next few weeks.
Would you rather traumatize a child or beat a world record on the Hive?
And for whatever reason, I went with the world record. But if I was really going to get a world record on the Hive, I was going to have to find a category that not many people have tried. Luckily for me, there's a thing that's called Hive extensions, where there are speedruns such as getting the fastest team elimination using every spellbook or even mining every ore as fast as you can. But considering all these world records were almost impossible to beat, I was going to have to find a different category, which is when I came across the arcade parkour category. You see, the Hive has a ton of arcade parkour, meaning there are a lot of options to go for. But there was just one problem. Almost every single arcade parkour record was beaten by the exact same person, meaning this person was probably a professional. Even though his record times were extremely quick, I came across one that looked beatable, so I tried it. But when I started, I kept running into the same problem. Whenever I got to this platform, it would either be moving away from me or it would be too far away for me to jump on. And I'm not even joking, this happened for an hour straight. I was so tired by the end of the hour, so I decided to log off for the night and try again tomorrow. The next day, I was very motivated as my fastest time yet was only 7 seconds more than the world record, meaning there was a very high chance I was gonna beat this. But even with my motivation, I kept messing up over and over again. But after a while, I realized that I didn't have to keep doing the same parkour over and over again. And with this realization, I came across another record. While this record was pretty fast, I had a good feeling about it. Unlike the previous parkour, this time I didn't have to rely on RNG, making this parkour very easy. And because it was so easy, I managed to get a time at 3 seconds more than the world record. And just a few minutes later, not only did I break my record 1 time, 2 times, but 3 times. This means that I am currently 1 second away from the world record. With this information in my head, I then went to sleep excited for tomorrow. It was now day 3 and I instantly hopped on the Hive. However, when I got on, I kept running into a huge problem. Every time I got to the halfway point, I would always fall. And whenever I got to the finish line, I wouldn't even be able to beat my own record. I was so demotivated that I legit almost scrapped the video. It was at this point where I realized that beating a world record by myself was basically impossible, which is when I decided to get one of my friends to help me. It was sad that I spent all those days grinding out parkour just for it to go to waste, but I felt like this was my only option. So I hopped back on speedrun.com and looked for some records that needed 2 people to beat it. That's when I came across the Skywars Kids record, which required you to get 5 kills. The record to beat was 30 seconds. While this may seem fast, this is Skywars Kids, meaning we would be able to choose the Voidwalker kit. This kit would be able to give us an ender pearl per kill, meaning we could travel around the map very easily. However, by the time we killed one team, the record time had already passed. Of course, this was a big issue, so we both decided to separate and kill different teams. Something I didn't account for, however, was that people will legit run across the entire map just to escape you. And because me and my friend had to deal with this for several hours, I think it's safe to say that we were going mentally insane. After singing Christmas songs for some odd reason, we eventually both got off for the night. It was now day 4 and to be honest, I was exhausted. I had spent the last 4 days trying to get a world record and I was still unsuccessful. I mean, what was the point of all this again? If I failed 2 of the 5 challenges, I have to let one of you guys change my profile picture for a full week. At this point, I actually thought about giving up. If I gave up now, the only thing I would have to do is just change my profile picture for a week. And to be honest, it was tempting. But luckily for me, when all hope was lost, Hive had released their brand new game mode, Gravity. And because this was a new game mode, there weren't any world records. As soon as I found this out, I instantly hopped on the Hive and loaded into a game of Gravity. This was it. I was finally going to get a world record. The last 4 days came down to this. Can a normal person like me get a world record on the Hive? I had spent the last 4 days trying to get a world record and I was still unsuccessful. If I gave up now, the only thing I would have to do is just change my profile picture for a week. It's hard to describe what this moment actually felt like. After spending 4 days obtaining the world record, then 4 days waiting for the record to be verified, I got 4th place. It's almost like I had spent all this time for nothing. While I did technically get a world record, it wasn't first place. But then I realized something. Speedrun.com keeps track of the day and time when each record is verified on their website. After realizing this, I went to check the day and time of the first 3 records submitted. The first record I checked was verified at 7:31 PM. The second record I checked was verified at 7:09 PM. And the last record I checked was mine, which was verified at 7:04 PM. Meaning, at one point, I was actually in first place. And in case you don't believe me, I left the link to the website in the description so you guys can check as well. However, there's still one thing missing. If I fail 2 of the 5 challenges, I have to let one of you guys change my profile picture for a full week. While I was first place at one point, I no longer am. So to make the deal fair, one random person who joins my Discord server and posts a picture in the hashtag media channel will decide my profile picture for 24 hours. Also, make sure you go check out part 1 of this video if you haven't already.